What's going on, guys? Brett Jogs the World back again with another review. Unfortunately, today it's of a pretty disappointing shoe, for me at least, and that is the Nike Pegasus Turbo 2. Let's get into things. Alright guys, so before I get into the actual review of the Pegasus Turbo 2, just want to put it out there that I am a huge fan of the Pegasus Turbo version 1. I have 2 pairs of these, and these were actually my favorite running shoe that I have ever worn. Whether long distance, short distance, fast tempo, a little bit slower pace, I absolutely love this shoe. I think it's a complete workhorse. I have used it for 2 races so far, and I'm actually doing a half marathon next weekend, and I'm going to be wearing this white pair, gonna clean these bad boys up, and that's gonna be the shoe that I wear for the half marathon. So just putting it out there that I love the first version, so I'm not going into this with any negative thoughts. I actually thought that the Turbo 2 was going to be an even better shoe, but unfortunately I was wrong. So let's get into the reasons why. So I actually ended up picking these up from Nike's website. I got them for about $85, $86, something like that. They were having a pretty good flash sale. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick these up, give them a try. I've been looking at them for a while. And like I said, I have a race coming up, a half marathon. I thought this was gonna be the shoe, but I was wrong. So first things first, when I initially took this shoe out of the box and I put it on, there was 2 things that I noticed right away. The first thing I noticed was that the collar here is definitely thinner, and I felt it. I actually felt a little bit of pinching in the back. It felt a little bit tighter than the first version, and I felt that the toe box was a little bit smaller. When I say smaller, I mean that I felt that it wasn't as wide as the first version. When I first put those on right out of the box, they were extremely comfortable. I felt that the material on those was a little bit more forgiving. I do have a wider foot, so that's why those worked so much better for me. When I put these on, I ran a couple times in these, but that initial first impression when I put them on, that this material is a little bit thinner, but I think it's a little bit more durable in the fact that it doesn't stretch as much. So with that being said, I didn't think it was as forgiving for a wider foot. So that was like the first thing that turned me off from the Turbo 2s. So like I said about the heel collar here, this is a lot thinner. As you can see from the first version here, there is a lot more padding going on. So the first version is here, the second version is on my right or your left. It does have quite a substantial thinner collar here, and I wasn't a huge fan of that. From the first looks of it on the website, I was like, yes, I'm gonna like that 100%, but indeed, these are so much more comfortable around that heel collar. I did feel some pinching when I was just walking around in these. Didn't notice a ton when I was running, but definitely when I was walking in these, I did feel that pinching going on. So now into the laces. So Nike does use Flywire in the first version of the Pegasus Turbo 1s. I absolutely love Flywire. I think it's one of the best things that Nike does, but on the Turbo 2s, unfortunately, they got rid of that Flywire and they went with like a double lace system here. So it has 2 holes on each side leading all the way up the shoe. And for whatever reason, I just could not get a good lockdown. It seems like the laces were bunching up in some parts, and then in some parts, it just was not opening up enough. So I couldn't really get that perfect feel. So I was like, you know what? If I can't get that perfect lockdown, there's no point in me wearing these to run. And I thought that was one of the most disappointing things. I was really looking forward to this lacing system after seeing the pictures, but it just did not work for me. The next thing though is the tongue. I thought I was gonna be a huge fan again of this thinner tongue that they went with. As you can see here, it's very thin. One positive though is when I did put these on my feet, it felt very nice, the top of the tongue. It was thin, so it felt good on the top of my foot, but when I did tie the laces tight, it seems like they were digging into that tongue. I definitely felt it because the version 1 is very padded. I didn't feel the laces rubbing against the top of my foot, but I definitely did when I did put on the Turbo 2s and lace them tight. One thing that does stay the same though is this midsole. They still use that Zoom X and that React combo that they did use on the version 1s, and it felt exactly the same. But unfortunately, the upper took a lot of changes, which is expected from Nike from year to year models. But unfortunately for me, it just did not work out. I was looking forward to this shoe so much. I thought I was gonna race in this next weekend, and unfortunately I was wrong, so I'm gonna have to race in the pair that I've been training in. But with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. The couple reasons that did turn me off from this shoe was this heel. I felt a little bit of pinching in it because it's a little bit thinner. Just didn't work out for me. I couldn't seem to get the laces locked down perfectly. The shoe seemed a little bit thinner. I do have a wider foot, so I can't complain about that too much. It happens in a lot of shoes, but for me, because the Pegasus Turbo 1 works so well for my wider feet, I thought it was gonna be the same for these, but it wasn't. And then lastly, this tongue just wasn't working for me with that lacing system that's going on. So unfortunately, I'm gonna be sending these back. I think I'm gonna be taking them to the post office right now, unfortunately, but like I said, if a shoe doesn't work for you perfectly and you're gonna be putting in a ton of miles, there's no reason that you should be wearing those. So I'm gonna be sending these back and maybe find another pair of the Turbo 1s floating around online. But that's about it, guys. Thanks for watching this quick little review. Unfortunately, these did not work for me. They do work for a ton of people though, so don't go just based off my review. Make sure you watch a couple and look into the shoes that you're about to buy, especially if they're gonna be a pair that you're gonna race in. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you next time.